Hello and welcome into the Seattle Seahawks Report. I am your host, Jordan Giorgio. We have a ton of news and rumors to get into, so let's go ahead and let's see is on tap for today. First bit of news I've got for you. Did the Seahawks hire former New England Patriots special teamer Larry Izzo? Well, we're giving this one 4 12 flags, which means bring on the 12s, baby. This is true. The newest addition to the staff is Larry Izzo, who will replace Heath Farwell as the assistant special teams coach, according to Alex Marvez of The Sporting News. Izzo spent 14 years in the NFL as a player and standout special teams member, 8 of those years with the Patriots. Upon retirement, Izzo branched into coaching, first with the New York Giants as an assistant special teams coach, then with the Texans the last 2 seasons before he was actually fired after Houston had experienced 2 rough seasons under his watch. You are watching the Seattle Seahawks Report. I'm your host, Jordan Giorgio. Before we continue with the latest news and rumors coming out of Seattle, let's go ahead and break down our rumor scale for you guys. If a rumor isn't given any 12 flags, the rumor is fake news. Absolutely not happening. If a rumor is given 1 12 flag, there is a small shred of truth to the rumor, but we aren't buying it just yet. If a rumor is given 2 12 flags, it means that people are talking. If a rumor is given 3 12 flags, it means that the rumor is pretty likely to happen. And if a rumor is given 4 12 flags, it means bring on the 12s, baby. This rumor is 100% true. Let's keep it rolling here with the latest news out of Seattle. Next up, I've got, did the Seattle Seahawks hire former Oakland Raiders defensive line coach Jethro Franklin? Well, we're giving this one 4 12 flags. Bring on the 12s, baby. This is true. As first reported by The Sporting News, the Seahawks have filled another vacancy on their coaching staff by hiring Jethro Franklin as our new assistant defensive line coach. Franklin takes the place of Dwayne Board, who announced last week he will not be returning. Franklin will assist defensive line coach Clint Hurt, who is in his 2nd year with the team. Franklin comes from the Raiders, where he worked the last 3 years as the defensive line coach, but was not retained by new Oakland head coach John Gruden. Franklin also worked under Pete Carroll at USC as defensive line coach in 2005 and in 2009. Next rumor I've got for you guys are the Seahawks looking to pick up cornerback Shaquill Griffin's one-handed twin brother, Shaquem Griffin, in the NFL draft. Well, we're giving this one 2 12 flags, which means people are talking. The twin brothers actually have yet to play on separate teams, and Shaquill made it clear to college recruiters, such as for his dream school, Miami, if they wanted to sign him for a scholarship, that they would have to sign his twin brother, Shaquem, too. University of Central Florida's then head coach, George O'Leary, was the one who said he wanted them both, so the brothers both headed to UCF. Shaquem redshirted and had one more season there this fall, and that turned into a storybook ending. And although he was separated from Shaquill for one of the only times in their life, the UCF Knights were the only undefeated team in college football this past season. They finished 13-0 by beating Auburn in the Peach Bowl. Shaquem was an all-league linebacker in his final 2 seasons at UCF. He was also the AAC's Defensive Player of the Year in 2016 and was the defensive most valuable player in the Peach Bowl. The Seahawks do have a new defensive coordinator in returning Ken Norton Jr. He was Seattle's linebackers coach through the 2014 season, and Pete Carroll has said since last year he wanted to get younger with quality depth behind star linebackers Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright. So will the brothers be reunited in Seattle? We'll have to see, but people are most definitely talking. Next news we've got for you guys was a Seahawk so mad after the Super Bowl 49 loss that he actually shattered his hand. Well, we hate to relive it, but we're giving this one 4 12 flags, which means bring on the 12s. This is true. Yesterday marked the 3-year anniversary of the most infamous play in Seahawks history, the goal line interception against the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 49 that cost us the chance to become the 9th NFL team to win back-to-back Super Bowls. Tight end Luke Wilson, who is in 5 years with the team, has gained a reputation for speaking freely. He brought this day back to life, recalling the play and its aftermath in an interview with Barstool Radio this past week. Wilson admits he wouldn't have called the play, which resulted in an interception by New England's Malcolm Butler on the pass thrown by Russell Wilson from the 1-yard line. He said he wasn't mad at the play call, but termed the interception a terrible moment and, quote, probably the worst moment of my life. Wilson also portrayed the scene of an angry locker room following the game, saying players were demanding answers, and that one player whom he wouldn't name punched a locker and completely shattered his hand. Moving on to the next rumor I've got for you, are the Seahawks going to give in and give safety Earl Thomas a new contract? Well, I'm giving this one 2 12 flags, which means people are talking. Thomas is headed into the final year of a 4-year, $40 million contract he signed back in 2014, and he is scheduled to collect a base salary of $8.5 million with a cap hit of $10.4 million in 2018. If Thomas doesn't get a new deal this offseason, he told Jane Slater of NFL Network that he won't return to Seattle until he does, and he is willing to hold out until it happens. The good news, Thomas did tell ESPN.com, quote, "I want to finish my career there. I definitely don't see myself going out there unsigned. As far as my future in Seattle, I think if they want me, money talks. We'll get something accomplished. Other than that, I'm just taking it one day at a time." Although the chances of the Seahawks granting Thomas the extension he wants are unlikely, considering they didn't do so with Cam Chancellor, John Snyder does not like to be forced to do something. In fact, he won't be forced. As a possible reason why the Seahawks might think twice, though, would be that there might not be a more important player to Seattle's defense than Thomas. The Seahawks often use him as a single high safety, something they couldn't do without his combination of speed and range. They found out how difficult life is without him in December 2016, when the pass defense absolutely fell apart when Thomas went down with a broken leg. So, will the Seahawks cave? We don't know yet, but people are talking. Taking it now to our final news bit here is Richard Sherman spending his time recovering investing in Bitcoin? Well, we're giving this one 4 12 flags, which means bring on the 12s. This is absolutely true. According to CNBC's Make It, the Seahawks cornerback actually took an interest in Bitcoin several years ago before the digital currency gained its appeal. Sherman started buying cryptocurrency when single Bitcoin was just over $2,000. He is now a spokesman for Robinhood, a cryptocurrency trading platform, and an investor in the company's coin COB. While Sherman is laser focused on his return to the football field after a season-ending Achilles injury and heel surgery, it doesn't hurt that he's also focused on his long-term investments. Those were the latest news and rumors coming out of Seattle. Let's move on here and talk about potential players that the Seattle Seahawks could cut this offseason. First one I got for you guys, Richard Sherman, with an $11 million salary and $13.2 million cap number for 2018 and a 30th birthday coming up in March, the Seahawks may decide to move on with or without an effort to get Sherman to take less money. Sherman was available for trade in 2017, but when no deal happened, both sides tried to mend back together. But with this injury, it'll be just enough to keep the divorce on the table. Next up, we've got safety Cam Chancellor. He landed on injured reserve this year for the first time in his career following a neck injury, and many have already written him off for 2018. And due to the structure of Cam's contract from the team's perspective, there is a very good chance Cam will be a Seahawk next season. 5 days after the Super Bowl, Cam's entire 2018 base salary of $6.8 million becomes fully guaranteed. Once February 10th arrives and that money is fully guaranteed, there's absolutely nothing the Seahawks can do to avoid paying Chancellor. Add that $6.8 million base salary on top of the $7.5 million in dead money from the prorated portion of his signing bonus, and all of a sudden, the 2008 cap hit to release Chancellor would become a cap-crippling $14.3 million, which would be devastating to the Seahawks already dealing with a tight cap situation in 2018. Next guy on our list, Cliff Avril. Cutting Avril would save the team $7.5 million against the cap. Dion Jordan has been excellent in limited duty and could be worth bringing back in Avril's place. Avril isn't getting any younger, as the defensive end will be 32 in April, and that's pretty old for an NFL defensive lineman. Avril made $4.5 million in 2016, but in 2017, he is due to make $7 million plus bonuses. In an offseason where Seattle needs to make a decision whether to re-sign young Sheldon Richardson, that $7 million makes a huge impact. Plus, if Avril were to be cut, his dead money is just about $500,000. In other words, nothing. Moving on here, next up we've got Michael Bennett, also 32, is entering his 10th season in the league. Although, if the Seahawks do choose to do away with Avril, they could benefit with having Bennett as the veteran presence on this defensive line. However, with Seahawks mounting injuries in 2017, this could indicate an effort to get younger on the defense. Financially, this is a largely break-even proposition if Seattle lets him go, because we aren't going to save a significant amount of money. And if that's the case, then it becomes a question of, is he worth this roster spot? which certainly the way Bennett has played this past year, he is. The question more is he going to get better or is he going to get worse? So Bennett comes in at number 4 on our list of potential cap cuts. Next up, we have Jeremy Lane. It's time for the Seahawks to play hardball with Lane following his recent arrest for a DUI. Lane played well enough during his first few years in the league, and combining his play with the hot free agent cornerback market led to Lane being rewarded for his performance with a 4-year, $23 million deal. However, since Lane signed his deal 2 years ago, the cornerback market has cooled off and Lane's on-field performance has been less than what would be desired, particularly for a player with a cap hit of $7.25 million in each of the next 2 seasons, and that was prior to Lane's recent arrest for DUI, which is likely to only lessen his value. And the last guy on our list, punter John Ryan. According to Seattle's Times Bond Condota, the Seahawks will bring in another free agent and punter Jeff Locke to work out alongside kicker Jason Myers. As Condota pointed out, it pushed the Seahawks to perhaps move on from Ryan at this time, whose cap hit grows larger in 2018 and 2019. The team can save a total of $5 million over the next 2 years by releasing their longest tenured players this offseason. Overall, the Seahawks need to save money where they can this offseason, and Ryan may be the one to go. He certainly is not safe by any means. Before we head out, let's take it to a quick reaction poll. Who should the Seahawks cut first? Get those reactions in. Give me a heart for Richard Sherman, a wow face for Cam Chancellor, a ha-ha for Cliff Averill, or a like for Michael Bennett. But that has been your Seattle Seahawks Report. I am your host, Jordan Giorgio. Make sure to go ahead and like our page, Seattle Seahawks from Chat Sports on Facebook, so you'll get a notification every time we go live. And make sure to go ahead and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jordan Giorgio. I'll see you next time.